We are going to talk about Pete Davidson and the fact that Dane loves this article.
Listen, I don't have anything against Pete Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have movie star good looks myself, so if there's like a guy, you know, who's just slamming it, like, good for you.
Exactly.
But there's so much wrong with the article.
Okay.
And I think we should read it.
Okay. It's a pretty short one. So you want me to read want me to just read the whole thing?
Please.
Yes.
Let's just go for it. Okay, so this is from Glamour, and the article says, I like how here, like, Pete Davidson has his own category.
You're welcome.
oh
I was
God.
the one who found it.
It says, Pete Davidson thinks women like him because he is, quote, diamond in the trash. He's a diamond in the trash. So he's not in the rough, he's in the trash.
Right.
So the article goes, and this is from Carrie Whitmer. It says, yes, Pete Davidson is aware that he has become America's most unexpected sweetheart, and he has a compelling theory that explains why. During his stand-up set at the 9th annual Patrice O'Neill comedy benefit concert...
Stop right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As a fan of Patrice O'Neill, and I bet we have some fans of Patrice O'Neill, like, listening to this podcast, he would have hated that young man, this is a PG-13 stream and I'm trying damn hard. That commercial, typically, you know, unfunny guy that would be...
Commercial, but you mean like mainstream?
Mainstream commercial, just does like propaganda stuff on SNL. Like,
Saturday Night Live unfunny.
Guys are dumb, am I right? I'm ugly, am I right? Like,
Yeah.
just like ridiculous stuff. Patrice O'Neill would hate that. And like, anyway, just something I wanted to say.
He's a talking head. Have you ever seen this? I've played this for Miracle. Have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live segment Levi Wokes? No. It's a joke about
It's
Levi
so dumb.
jeans. It's like a Levi jeans ad, but it's like genderless, style neutral, gender non-conforming denim.
There we go.
It says they're made for everybody. He's like, they fit everybody because they fit nobody. And it's like it's like a really funny comedic take on woke culture. And it's like 4 years old, and you'd never be able to make that skit now. But he was in that, and he would fit. You know, but he would have said whatever he had to say going the other direction because they're talking heads.
The bad thing about him is, like, I just listened to him and he seems real ass. He seems like a cool guy. By the way, real ass is my, like, adjective for, like, cool people.
Dead ass.
He's real ass. But it's like they just have him be like this, you know, like how the old stereotype was, like, fat husband, beautiful wife.
Oh yeah.
He's just lost without her.
It's the meme. It's like this is the husband. It's like it's a picture of, like, it's not George Lopez, but I don't know who it is in the.
He may as well be.
But and then the woman's like Gal Gadot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's the 2.0 version of that. He's just a skinny loser, druggy,
Effeminate.
emo, effeminate guy. And apparently that's what women want.
Man,
I mean, why not?
I mean, you're the woman, you know.
you tell us.
I don't know. Like, I feel like women just have different tastes, and they just want something new. They want the weird loner.
Feminist propaganda.
They want the soy boys now.
By the way,
No, they don't. Okay, this is where the media screws a whole generation of men, right? Because men are like, that's what women want. Like, growing up, like, I would have taken every cue from these shows about what these shows thought that women wanted from men, meaning you open up a lot and you share your feelings and you're vulnerable. Bullshit.
Something like that.
Some, maybe, but in general, is that a general? No. It's
My
not.
thing is, you can cry in front of your girl. You can't weep.
Okay.
Like, you can be like, you can like when you weep, like, it's done.
They completely undervalued the importance of men showing strength. And a whole generation of men, they portray stoicism as a bad thing, but stoicism matters to a lot of men because it is how you cope with certain types of problems in your life. And you're supposed to open up and be vulnerable. And he is kind of this I hate the term, but F-boy version of that. Like, and this is, like I said, I don't think this is him. Like, I think
That's what I'm saying.
This is a character that he plays.
This is his PR agent.
So, exactly.
And also,
and I mean nothing to him. Like, I'm commenting more on the culture, not him. Like,
Right.
I'm not trying to throw shade at him in any way.
body, same.
Yeah.
Except I did throw shade in the beginning of this.
Yeah.
But like, it then made the addendum. Like, I think he's a real ass guy, but like, it's just like what he allows people to do with his brand is effing pathetic.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. And also, diamond in the rough means a good thing in a bad situation. Diamond in the trash is the same thing. You didn't fix the phrase. You're just devaluing yourself further.
Actually, I
Yeah.
think it's what he's saying is, if you actually looked at the phrase, it says like a diamond amongst trash, so are all men trash, and you're like I'm trying
Right.
to figure out how to even.
I think
take
that's
that.
what he's trying to interpret.
His brand is that he's trash. So in any case, it would be trash among diamonds.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's the name of the episode.
Yeah. During his
Let's do it, Chris.
So it says, quote, there seems to be a curiosity about me, there seems to be a curiosity about me is what my friends tell me. The Saturday Night Live star said during a set. I was trying to figure out how to explain myself to someone because I was doing an interview. I can kind of sympathize with that, right? Like, I feel bad for him in a way because a lot of times humans are so complex and unknowable that to have somebody boil down to a couple of phrases is, for the most part, insulting, but that's the life you choose when you're a public figure.
For real.
So this Davidson went on to compare himself to the DVD discount bin at 7-Eleven, where he said you might find some films like Shrek Forever or Tropic Thunder, but he said that Tropic Thunder is a classic and it doesn't belong in the trash, which is exactly what he is.
Okay.
I'm Tropic Thunder, Davidson joked. Now, he's joking.
He's joking. Okay. The perception of you, my good friend, is not that you're a diamond. What's odd is that you are a hideous looking young boy. Again, not movie star good looks here, just good looks. That you are a different looking young boy that is odd as hell and clearly has issues. And that yet you are banging all the hot women in the world.
Likely behind the scenes, I imagine he's a ruthless businessman.
That'd be awesome.
Like, I imagine, like, Kim Kardashian did not get turned on by F-boy looks.
Yeah.
She got turned on by the fact that this dude probably negotiates ridiculous contracts and says,
Yeah.
I'm a brand.
Exactly.
Like-
that he lets people do anything with his brand.
Yeah.
And so does she.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
She
if-
made a career out
in
of
that way,
we all know.
In that way, it makes perfect sense, right?
Right.
But what I love about
That's a
doing-
great analysis. I fucking love that.
What I love
effing.
about these segments is, like, you can take something like this, pick it apart, and it kind of it just ever so slightly pulls back the veneer of what this industry is.
Yeah.
It's literally a magazine called Glamour, which is supposed to be you cover up the flaws and you glamorize
Right.
and accentuate certain aspects of these cultures, but it's under there. What it is, and now it's not that he's ugly, it's that he's ruthless as a businessman, knows what his brand is, and allows it to be exploited. Is that a bad? I don't even think that makes him a bad person. In fact, if anything, I can applaud that. But I love to see the underside of this industry come out. If you just stop for a minute and not look at it as churnalist, meaning that they churn out these articles for people to just read brain dead and then click on to the next thing. But if you just if you spend more than 2 minutes looking at this stuff, you can pull a lot out of it that's there. It's just they don't want you to see.
And also, I think part of his brand is intentionally making him look dumber and worse.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And that's what I hate.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate. Like, probably if the guy didn't, like, made his hair like Eminem and, like, cleaned up a bit, he'd be, like, a decent-looking guy,
Well,
funny,
he is-
great personality. But they just have to uglify him and be like, oh, I'm just adult.
Yep.
And girls, we love him. It's like, come on, dude.
I imagine that if you looked at Pee Wee Herman when he wasn't,
Right.
or Ernest from Ernest,
But that's a character.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what people think of that person,
Right.
right? So, yesterday we talked about Johnny Knoxville,
Yeah.
and I was like, this dude is worth $50 million. He did not need to make, but it's a brand, right? So his just happens to be doing stupid stuff for money.
Right.
But I think of it kind of in the same way. His is a little bit more pure because I
Yeah.
do think he's like an adrenaline junkie. But in the end, they're all businessmen,
Right.
And their image is everything. Right. So to him, this article, like I said, I think that article is a bit of a misnomer, or at least he poorly explains it in the bit that he's not a diamond amongst trash. He's like you said, he's trash amongst trash.
And also, respect where respect is due. It's always better to be like, yeah, I suck, instead of being like, I don't suck, you suck.
No,
Yeah.
it's a false modesty, right?
And that's why, like, he's probably so cool.
Yep.
Because everything that I hear about him, besides the fact that he's a druggie, is that he's a cool dude.
I didn't even know anything about druggie. I mean, I don't know how real that is.
Maybe I just deduced that,
Yeah.
and that's what people said, because that's the aesthetic of his brand.
Yeah, I had never heard that before. I mean, he has the look about him for it, but that's makeup. He doesn't. You don't. People on this level don't show up in public accidentally looking in any way.
But isn't that like so horrible that like they are constructing him to look like someone that's addicted to drugs?
Yeah,
that's where we want to push the.
That's
the
almost worse. Yeah, that's worse.
It's horrible.
That's way worse. Like when you really think about it, it's like how many days off the taper do you want to look today? Do you want to look like you've been fiending for 3 days, or do you want to look like you've been fiending for 5 days?
Right. And this poor kid just wanted to be funny and make money.
Yep. So I mean, there's other celebrities where like I'm not gonna be able. I should have like looked into it more ahead of time, but there's a lot of people who make their image social media. I mean, he's just doing it on the corporate scale, right? Nobody should actually believe that your social media influencer's life is exactly like how they portray on the internet, right? There's certain influencers like that I follow that I get a kick out of they don't inform my life in any way. That what the things they push aren't products I buy, but something about the person that they portray resonates with me.
Authenticity.
There's a woman like a singer on Instagram named Sheena Melwani, who has this video series called like Interrupted, where she sings songs like famous covers on the piano, and then her husband interrupts and like says really mean things about the song, but that kind of catapulted her into fame. But it's like now it's because she's a mom and a wife and all these things that make her brand what it is. But she comes off as very modest. But then you look at her, her page, and it links her industry rep, right? So is she that authentic? I believe that she is, because I feel like I've looked at these things enough that I can discern what is a character and what isn't. But it's a lot more expected of those people to be more authentic. Somebody like him is packaged from start to finish.
Right. But like they're packaging fake authenticity from an authentic guy. I think I want to apologize for like the insult to looks. Honestly, I like played into like what's normally done about him, and I'm honestly a little bit disappointed with myself. But like my main critique once again is that I just hate genuine people selling brands for profit when is like 50% net worth when you're already like a rich stud worth like devaluing not only yourself but like the image of like men as a whole.
I wonder how much of that at that point has to do with money and more about keeping relationships in the industry. It's its own ecosystem, and they don't necessarily see it as a financial bottom line as much as it is keeping where you stand in the industry where it is. Like I'm always hesitant to put the value to put the reason down to money, right? Like a lot of people, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have is when people critique celebrities who say stupid shit and then say something like, well, easy for them to say they're rich. I'm like, yeah, but problems are relative, person to person. There's a lot of things you can criticize somebody for, but pretending like they don't have problems because they're rich is low T, or I'm sorry, it's like low info critique at best.
It's low T too.
Yeah. It's something that you say when you're like, oh, wow, you must have it so easy. Like, yeah, but their life probably sucks just in a way that you and I don't understand. Money just happens to be most of our concerns. Just because they don't have that concern doesn't mean they don't have concerns or problems. Those things evolve over time. They evolve over industry. They evolve over what you do for a living. There's a number of things that make us who we are. And to say that somebody doesn't have problems because of money is irrelevant. But for a guy like this, I just think it's interesting because a lot of it does come down to marketing, right? So it literally is like a marketing meme now that he's good in bed because of who he dates. Right?
Right.
How do we know that that's true and the women just don't have horrible...
I mean, he also breaks up with him 1 month after. So
Yeah.
It says Pete Davidson is currently in the midst of a romance with reality TV star Kim Kardashian, whom he's connected with after she hosted Saturday Night Live in October. The two were spotted together in the weeks following and confirmed their relationship. In 2018, Davidson had a whirlwind 5-month romance with pop star Ariana Grande. There's a large age difference between Grande and Kim Kardashian, right?
This makes me think the relationship isn't real.
Oh yeah, it's a package deal, right?
And I never thought of that until I sat here and like you gave me your take.
Does he come off as authentic to you?
Pete Davidson, no. Like,
in what way? You're younger, so she might have a different perspective. She's younger than us.
Well, for me, because like legit, when he was engaged to Ariana Grande, like they didn't really explain like why the relationship fell apart after that.
Well, it's not their. To be fair, it's not their responsibility to explain to us why.
Ariana Grande is one of those celebrities who's similar to Kim Kardashian, where they'll talk about their lives on Instagram and live streams. So that's why it's kind of weird that he wouldn't explain about that, like what happened, what's their fallout, and then how did he meet Kim Kardashian? Because again, like Ariana Grande, I believe she's in her late 20s, and Kim is almost like 50.
She's not 50.
No,
She's got to be in her like late in her 30s.
She might be 50.
No,
she's like 40 something.
Look it up.
She's 40 something.
She's got to be like. But that's why I said earlier. So isn't there a large age difference between Grande and?
I don't know.
And her. So it says.
Oh, sweetie, she's like 40 something.
Our generation may not be making as much money as the boomers, but we're all
She's
aging
41.
better.
My bad. Sorry.
So she's not that old.
She's not that old.
She
but
looks good. Like I still stand by my extremely hot take that Kim Kardashian now. I would rather have the Kim Kardashian sex tape now than Kim Kardashian when she was in her 20s.
We would need both to compare.
Yeah, and I was right about Ariana Grande's age. She's 28.
Yeah.
So imagine that.
And she's been creepily marketed as like looking really young.
I mean, she looks like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Holly weird. I don't want to get into that today.
I don't know.
So from I still say that it is just a sign of just how much of this industry is mass produced and designed to be seen a certain way, and that none of this stuff happens by accident. So thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.